I also want to introduce senior comrade Akwa Clifford is also here. I want to introduce also to us the crew members from C+, Mr. Chukwu Augusta, C4 Energy Services Limited, okay, and also Orgy Friday, C4 Energy Services Limited. They are all here. Give it up for them. I would want to break even because we have quite a lot to do. Mr. John, sir, we want to have Mr. John on stage to share his story with us. The CEO, Treasure Island. Give it up for Mr. John Nta.
May we be seated? Thank you very much. The distinguished Vice Chancellor of AXU, fellow facilitators, great AXU students. I welcome you once again to this great event. It's all about you. The event is all about you. In the next 15 minutes or so, I will be giving you the story of Treasure Island. It's going to be an undiluted story, and it's going to be told in such a way that we all will be able to assimilate it. Permit me to tell you something as a prologue, that I come from a family where my father had us 12, same parents. It was a bumper harvest. Bumper harvest. And so you are not in any disadvantaged position. You are not. I was. You are not. Hello there. Before I start, let me tell you a little about Treasure Island. Treasure Island, in its present state, is a foremost importer of household, office, hospital, furniture, school furniture in Nigeria. And we have branches all over Nigeria, in Abuja, in Lagos, in Tinapa, Calabar, we have in Uyo. The reason I'm telling you is that so that you understand where we came from. It all started in the year 2000 that I decided to build a dream. Dream is simply a vision, what you want to be, what you want to become. When I got done with my youth service, I picked a job and was working with Silverbird. On a particular day, I wanted to buy a lamp, a reading lamp, and then I went to Alaba International Market. Upon getting there, I saw some lamps, some beautiful lamps, touch lamps. I've always wanted to sell furniture, but then I didn't have the money to start. And so when I asked for these lamps, they told me they were very expensive and that I couldn't afford them. But that man just told me straight up, said these ones are very expensive, just push them aside. The kind of lamp whereby where you touch it, it goes on, you touch it, it goes off. And that was enough fantasy for me. You know what I did? I went and put resignation where I was working. And know how much I had? It was 25,000 in my whole life. And that is the product of what you see today as Treasure Island. When I put my resignation, I went back with the man with 25,000 naira. And what you are struggling for today is what backed me up, my degree. I took with me my original certificate, my NYSC certificate, even included my first school living certificate. Went to the man, hello there, I gave him as my collateral. He collected them and said, nah man, these are papers, what do I do with this? You know, Ibom man, I told him, please, this is my whole life. My whole life revolves on this. He looked at me and decided to reduce the number of the lambs to only 40. And then I paid him the 25,000 naira, took the lambs, went everywhere you can think of, Ikot, Port Harcourt, started selling lambs. That is the story of Treasure Island. From the lambs of 25,000 naira, we were able to build very strong brands. Let me talk a little about getting started. It's all about you. Success is all about you. It's all about your mind. It's all about sheer determination, undiluted passion. And that is what kept me afloat. Getting started, many of you have eaten your startup capital with drinks, with beer. Many of you have eaten your startup capitals with that hair, the hair you bought, the Brazilian hair. Many of you have eaten it with birthday bash. Come and rock my birthday and all of that, having a birthday. That is your seat. That is your startup capital. I can stand and challenge you. That is your startup capital. I've seen people starting with 10,000, with 5,000, and they're somewhere right now. I want to challenge you today. Those things you eat, those little money, that is your seed. You can start somewhere like I started, and you get somewhere. I challenge you. When I started Treasure Island, I set out goals. I set out goals. I set out targets. I made choices. One thing that helped me to step up to where I am today has been the choices I made as a very young person. Choices of friends, choices of food, choices of clothing, and all of that. They say that a sheep that finds himself a regular companion with a dog must surely eat feces. I decided to let go of some friends. I tell you the truth, some of my friends that will call me on phone when it's time for clubbing, I will deliberately put up my phone or just sleep. The next day I'll give excuses. Oh please, I couldn't make it. Sleep just carried me because I wanted my money to be intact. Most of them, they must have, none of them, as a matter of fact, those group of friends, none of them has reached where I am because of choices. The choices we make will ultimately affect our future. If I'm saying the truth, let me see you wave your hand. If I'm saying the truth, the choices we make can make or mar us. I just challenge you today to start making beautiful choices that affect your lives, and you see that you will never remain on the spot. I took the greatest risk any young man could have taken at that point in time. My certificate, I just handed it over to someone, an Igbo trader who did not know the value of certificates. That was risk. What risk have you taken? In the process of making it in life, what risk have you taken? If you don't take risk, you may not go very far. I can remember the very first time I dared to go to China. That was one of the biggest risks I took. That was in 2007. Some people tried to discourage me because of the language barrier and all of that. I just went to the net and tried to check out some things. And the only thing I knew was that furniture is sold as Shondi. That was the only thing I needed to know. What brought me there? What took me there? Undiluted zeal and determination to succeed. I tell you, when I got there, I didn't know nothing. I only know Shondi. The language barrier did not deter me. I took it by force. I had developed lion heart. I tell you, I developed lion heart. I was like a lion. Nothing stopped me. I stopped the taxi and tried to tell him Shondi spoke in Chinese. He didn't understand me. But that did not deter me. My money I had, people tried to discourage me. Like what you read in Numbers, the land that you are going to is a land that inhabits the inhabitants. It did not deter me. I rather took the advice of Caleb that I am well able to conquer it, and I conquered. I tell you, brothers, I went there, I loaded 40-foot container, I came back and sold them without any loss. That was enough risk. What risk have you taken? Have you developed a lion heart? If you want to go far, if you want to succeed, you must develop a lion heart. You must have focus. I tell you, like, you cannot be a star footballer and a star basketballer at the same time. You choose one and then face it. I was focused and so determined to do furniture business. Most of our youth today, they want to make it through politics and all. It's good. But I tell you, Intel have just retrenched 120,000 workers. Banks are dropping their staffs as well. But I tell you, if you start somewhere, little by little, and then have focus, nothing can stop you. We're going to talk about some personal development, developing yourself. As a full graduate, I needed to go far in furniture business. You know what I did? I went to one company that was dealing on furniture or skin furniture. I told them, please, I want to do my attachment. But I was a graduate already. I just had to fetch a little paper from the University of Uyo that it's to help in my their word of degree. I showed it to them. They said they don't have room for attaches. I said I don't need payment. You know what? I wanted to develop myself. I wanted to understudy them. They finally took me without payment. As I had started Treasure Island, you know what I learned from them? In all honesty, almost everything I do today, I learned from Oskin Furniture. I served there as a student. I got to know how they did their import. I got to know how they clear. I got to know how they sell. I got to know everything. I was nosy. They didn't know why I came there. It was to understudy them, personal development. I've seen other people that have developed themselves by themselves. What have you done? If you want to go far, you must develop yourself personally. It takes you to make it. Nobody. You can't carry your wife's pregnancy for her, no matter how you love her. Can you? You can't. Personal development, if you want to go far, you must understudy, you must research. What do you read, students? You go to pornographic sites. What do you read, students? You browse WhatsApp.